Now, I will not take Gilbert's advice about not mentioning the name Ramesh. There is nothing wrong with mentioning him. It is a fact. I watched the video of Ramesh scolding, abusing, and belittling the security officer in his condominium. I find his behavior to be arrogant, abusive, deplorable. Do you agree? I see a foreigner who came to Singapore to get a well-paid job, bullying a local who earned perhaps less than 1/10 of his salary and who has to work 12 hours a day just to make a living. That's what I see. A ministerial statement from Home Affairs said Ramesh is a Singapore citizen. It does not make any difference to me because Ramesh did not serve national service. Why should we have citizens being granted to young people who did not serve national service? I cannot understand why he can take a high-paying job in the bank when there are many well-educated Singaporeans who have worked many years in the financial services industry. Why can't this well-paying job be filled by a Singaporean? One who has served national service. I know that many Singaporeans are also very angry. They went into social media to vent their anger. They used strong words, strong language, make abusive personal attack. I'm sorry to say, I don't agree with this behavior either. What we write in the social media, the words we use are read by many people, foreigners and Singaporeans, in and out of Singapore. We don't want to give an impression that Singaporeans are bigots, racist, or unreasonable people. I hope you agree with me. So let us put our anger properly and do not damage the reputation of Singaporeans. Is that all right? A friend approached me to sign a petition. We want Ramesh to be sacked from his job. We want Ramesh to be expelled from Singapore. I'm sorry to say, I declined to sign the petition. And I want to tell you why. If Ramesh if this behavior is shown by a Singaporean. And there are many Singaporeans with bad behavior as well. Do we also expect the Singaporeans to be expelled, to lose a job? Now, as sensible people, we must be more balanced. We must be fairer. So I declined politely to sign the petition. I know many of you did. I don't judge you. Maybe you are more angry than me. But we must also remember that we have to treat everybody, locals and foreigners, those in Singapore. We have to treat them fairly. I told my friend I will wait for Ramesh to apologize. Well, Ramesh did apologize. He apologized several times, and I read that Stephen had accepted his apology. I believe Ramesh's apology to be sincere. I believe he has learned his lesson. And in the spirit of generosity and goodwill, I call on Ramesh to withdraw his police report. And I hope that he will listen to my advice and close this matter. I am still very angry. I'm not angry now at Ramesh. He has apologized. I'm angry at the government. I'm angry at the PAP government. I'm angry at national service. It requires our male citizens to serve 2 years full time, and they are paid a very small allowance. Peanuts are okay. Peanuts is 600,000. We don't even get peanuts. So we require our male citizens to serve 2 years at a very miserable allowance. This means that our male citizens come into the workforce 2 years later, and they have to compete with foreigners like Ramesh for jobs. And if you have 2 years less experience, I tell you, it's hard to get a job. I also don't like 10 years of reservist duty. Male citizens have to do 10 years of reservist duty. And you know what happened? Employers prefer foreign workers. Foreign workers do not have to serve reservist duty. They do not have to have their work schedule disrupted. And this is one reason why our local males find it difficult to get jobs compared with foreigners.
Foreigners got no obligation to Singapore.
When national service started in the 1960s, Singapore was a poor country. Singapore was a weak country militarily. I supported national service. Most Singaporeans think the same. We all supported national service in the early days. Do you agree? 50 years have passed. Singapore is no longer a poor country. Why are we still expecting our male citizens to serve national service and get a miserable allowance? Why can't we pay them a proper salary? They need this for their future. Do you agree? I think Lee Hsien Loong is too far away. He can't hear. Do you agree? I also find not necessary to take 2 years because other countries, those with conscription, do it for a shorter time. It's possible to train our citizens without taking 2 years of their time. I also find 10 years reservist too long, unnecessary. We can make it shorter. And if we had reduced reservist duty to 3 or 5 years, our dear Aloysius Pang would be still here with us today. How can you expect our male citizens who have got demands of their job, who has to start a family, you pull them from their job and their family, you send them to New Zealand, and you put them in live firing exercise, mistakes will happen, accidents will happen. We should stop this. So I call the government to review the national service policy. 2019, 50 years have passed. Times have changed. We have different challenges. We cannot continue to disadvantage our male citizens in this way. You have also read about footballer Ben Davies, is it the right name? You have also heard about Joseph Schooling, the national swimmer. We need our national service policy to be fairer to locals. We don't want to destroy their sporting and their artistic careers. We have to be more flexible. I am also angry at the Ministry of Manpower. Why is the ministry giving so many employment passes? And some of them, we all know, based on fake degrees and based upon degrees from questionable universities. Why can't we impose a levy on employment pass holders? We already imposed a levy on lower levels, S-pass, work permit. Why should employment pass holders be free from levy? Oh, they are foreign talents. Bullshit! Why should foreigners get good paying jobs at the expense of our locals who have to serve national service? Why can't the ministry scrutinize the applications more carefully and disallow fake and dubious degrees? I am told some employers prefer foreigners for a different reason. The foreigners coming to work in Singapore have to pay a high fee to the employment agent, 3-6 months salary. I'm told some employment agents give kickbacks. With this kind of rubbish system, our poor Singaporeans will find it very hard to get jobs. I'm also very angry at CECA, the Cooperative Economic Cooperation Agreement signed between Singapore and India. I believe Ramesh comes into Singapore under CECA. Hey, if you keep on interrupting me, my 20 minutes is not enough, okay? I believe that Ramesh comes into Singapore under CECA, but it is not only Ramesh. There must be 50,000, 100,000 or more. The foreigners who come in freely under CECA and other schemes take over jobs that should be filled by our locals. In some cases, now they take over jobs that should be filled by locals. And if we as parents, we find that our children can't get good jobs, we have to thank the PAP.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
Not only are our young people difficult to get jobs, even the older professionals among the locals, they lose their jobs for one reason or another, and their jobs are taken over by foreigners.
One reason only, one reason. CECA.
Wait a while, I'm trying to get this mobile phone to be upright. So the foreigners come in to take jobs that our young people cannot get. They come in to replace our older workers. And our older workers get retrenched and replaced by foreigners.
Then our younger workers
When a company is a foreign-owned company, there is a tendency for the employer to take in their own countrymen.
That's right, Kilo. Kilo.
Even local companies, when they employ human resource manager who is a foreigner, the HR manager also prefer their own countrymen. Worse still, from the same village.
What's still, brother, sister also?
It is widely believed that CECA has caused a lot of problems to Singaporeans in competing for good paying jobs against foreigners. How does CECA benefit Singapore? What is the quid pro quo? So far, I have not seen any convincing evidence or report from the government.
Yeah, we also didn't see.
CECA has been implemented for almost 15 years. Surely the government knows that it has to be reviewed. Is it benefiting Singapore equally as it benefits India, or are we being taken for a ride? The people involved in CECA 15 years ago, many have retired, but some are still in the government. I call on these people to give an account to Singaporeans and to clean up the mess they have created.
Those people alive in CECA is now senile.
A month ago, 1 month ago, someone spoke to me. He said, in many advanced countries, the people who drive taxis are the immigrants. The immigrants cannot find any well-paying jobs. The only way to make a living is to drive taxis. He says, Mr. Tan, why is it in Singapore taxi drivers are our locals and private hire drivers are our local, while the foreigners get the good paying jobs? I cannot answer him. I don't know the answer.
Why?
I have met many people a few years younger than me. They are in their 50s, 60s, and some in their 70s. Many of these people are here today, many of you. We belong to the generation that saw Singapore when we first became independent, and we saw Singapore through the years. We were once very proud of Singapore.
So are we now.
We were once very supportive of PAP.
Yes. Lick on you.
And these people tell me, today, they no longer support the PAP. They say the PAP has betrayed the people of Singapore. They have neglected the interests of Singaporeans, and they have now give preference to foreigners. I share their views. General election is around the corner. 3, 6, maybe 9 months. I call on voters to think of the future of our children and grandchildren. Many of us are still okay. Some of us still got jobs. We got our house. But what about the children? What about the grandchildren? So we must think about the future of our children and grandchildren. We must have the courage. We must be united. We must vote against the PAP. We cannot allow the PAP to continue their current policies that have been very bad for the people. If all thinking people, if all thinking citizens of Singapore, if we all vote against the PAP, we will be able to see a significant change. My hope is 1/3 of Parliament will go to opposition. But that requires everybody to have the courage and to vote against the PAP. Now, I say thinking people, people with eyes and people with heart. Now, some people say they want the PAP to fall totally. You have to be patient. It will take 2 or 3 general elections. So at the very best, if we are all united, 1/3 of Parliament will fall to the opposition, more than 1/3. There will still be many people that vote for PAP. I'm sad to say, these people mostly, not everyone, mostly are selfish. They have jobs, so they think I'm okay. Wait until they lose their job. So, all thinking person must set aside, don't worry, we vote against the PAP. And we get more people to be on our side. So today's rally is no to CECA. Do you agree? no to 6.9 million while the country is still in a mess. Do you agree? No to PAP. Do you agree?
No to PNP. Agree? Yes.
Terima kasih. 谢谢。Nandri. Thank you.
Begin for Mr. Tan Kin Lian, the biggest opposition support that Singapore has. Well, it's a pity that he's not standing for election. Begin again, Tan Kin Lian. Yeah, all the speakers have a chance to wave the Singapore flag with me. Let's wave it together, Mr. Tan. No to 6.9. No to CECA. No to PAP. Thank you, Singapore. Thank you, Mr. Tan.